Here we go. This is it. 1.03. We've been waiting for this. Now, I saw they have bug fixes. I scrolled all the way down. There was a ton of bug fixes all the way till we got to here. And this is where I started recording because I didn't want to. I mean, these are a lot of bug fixes. You can read them if you want. I'll have a link in the pinned comment. Okay. But let's go to the actual just chunky meat of it, okay? This is what we're definitely looking for. Gameplay adjustments, baby. Let's go. Experience reward. Significantly increase the experience award for completing Nightmare Dungeons. Let's go. That's out already. Significantly increase the experience gained from killing monsters in Nightmare Dungeons. Let's go. Helltide Chest now substantially more bonus experience when open. Love that. Experience. Finally, people are complaining about experience. We got the answer. Significantly increase rewarded experience for completing individual whispers across the board. That definitely need to be done. Fix an issue where no experience or reward for completing the Holdout style event that can occur after finishing that. So here we go. Major experience buffs across the board. Gigantic W to start. Okay, let's keep going. The Helltide roaming bosses will now consistently drop higher quality loot. That's a W. Though, like the Kha'Zix looking fellow, the guy who jumps around with the claws, he has a ton of HP, so he can take forever to kill. I like that it gives better loot. Players can now teleport to their Nightmare Dungeon directly. This is what they're talking about with Sigils. So now the Sigils TP you straight to it. Big fat W. Weekly bonus caches from the world bosses no longer have a level requirement for opening. This was super annoying. You get like a level 80 cache, can't open it, and you're like, well, fuck me, I guess. Developers note, we're currently working on increasing the monster and elite density of in-game content and plan. So this is an important note. Big complaint is that, hey, just give us a big pack of mobs to kill. You guys keep nerfing the dungeons that have big packs of mobs, and then you don't do anything buffing the other ones. They're recognizing this. Big W. Balance changes here. We're continuing our efforts to make all class builds feel fun and powerful with another round of balance updates. Druid, let's go. In particular, we've seen community feedback stating that basic skills aren't impactful enough. True. These changes will not change the fundamental relationship between basic and cores, but we hope that they'll help smooth out the leveling experience while exploring additional ways to strengthen them. We also are increasing the power of some skills that players feel are lagging behind their peers. Thank you! As we look forward to the future update, we're monitoring other heavy discussed topics such as minion survivability and build parity. Please keep sending us your feedback. We'll see you in Sanctuary. Let's go! Okay, big W. All right. Barbarian, lunging strike, base damage increased, fury generated increased, bash increased. So they're just buffing. This is a flat buff. Base damage increased. Flay is getting buffs from fury, from damage, from vulnerability. Double swing is getting buffed. Kick is getting buffs. Let's go. They're finally buffing stuff instead of nerfing stuff. Let's go. Base damage to enemies, knockback increased. Charge increase. So this is a huge buff. Like they're buffing everything. Like Leap got buffed with the slow got buffed. Iron Skin is getting buffed. It's literally doubled. Iron Skin got doubled. Call of the Ancients Prime Call of the bonus attack speed increase. It's just a buff across the board. Cooldown reduced from the Iron Maelstrom. Okay, and damage increased as well. Wow. Big Barbarian buffs. Base damage increased from 75 to 112. First time for everything, boys. The Barbarians are getting buffed, not nerfed. Okay. Once again, legendary aspects. Damage increased on a lot of these. Bull Cathars, Earthquake, Dust Devils, Windlasher, Devilish, Iron Warrior, items overkill. Damage increased. All right, so just big W. Barbarian's got a big W. That's what I'm saying. Barbarian's got a big W. Druid. Time for Druid, baby. Okay, Earth Spike. Yep, that's the one I use. Base damage increased. You love to see that there. Spirit generated increased. Love to see that. Fierce Earth Spike Fortify doubled. So they doubled the Fortify. Love to see that. That's a nice Earth Bear buff. Wind Shear, base damage increased. Spirit, who cares about Wind Shear personally? I know some people use it, but who cares about Wind Shear? Base damage increased on Claw. Spirit generation increased. Wild Claw double attack increased from 10 to 15. That's nice. And Fierce Claw base damage increased. So they're just buffing. They're buffing all of these. Maul base damage, Spirit, Fortify increased. Lightning Storm, here we go. Duration is increased from 4 to 6 seconds. So that means at the maximum portion of Lightning Storm where it does the most, it got extended by another 50% basically. Primal Lightning Storm, chance to immobilize increased. So Lightning Storm got a fairly decent buff. Shred gets a buff as well, which is interesting. I've heard there's a good Shred build, so that might actually make that better. Enhanced Shred healing increase. Raging Shred's base damage increase. Primal Shred's bonus crit increase. Man, big buff to Shred there, okay? The Wolves, I'm going to be honest with you, they need a massive buff. So the cooldown reduced from 14 to 11, W. Ferocious Wolfpack Lucky Hit from 10 to 40. That's a 400% increase on the lucky hit. Hurricane base damage increased massively, which means the hurricane percentage that goes up per second is going to be massively better. Rabies base poison increased. That needed to happen. Cataclysm base damage increased. Yeah, okay. I felt like it was kind of okay, but sure. Lacerate base damage increased. So they're just buffing. They're buffing all of these. Petrify, critical bonus damage increased. Pummel damage increased. So druids are getting a W also. Bestial Rampage, attack speed bonus from 2025, damage bonus increase. They're really trying to make that one happen. Nature's Fury, chance to get a free spell increase from 20 to 30. That is very good. Nature's Fury is actually quite good. There's these, you can get this aspect that gives you like an 8-second cooldown whenever this triggers. So that is going to be worth trying out and building. Lupine Ferocity damage bonus increase, which is actually quite good for the Tornado build. I was using this one. I was originally using Earthen Might, swapped over the Lupine for a bit, and that's actually a nice buff for that. Legendary Aspects, the Runeworks Conduit, don't really care. Mango, don't really care. Seismic Shift cooldown, don't really care. Maybe that's kind of nice, actually. Blurred Beast, I don't know. I don't really care about those buffs. These ones are more of a W, though. The passive change is great, and these basic attacks, Lightning Storm, Shred, those are big Ws. The Wolves, I feel like they could have buffed the Wolves probably a little bit more, but that's a 400% increase on the lucky hit there. So Druid also caught a W. So we got a W from Barbarian and Druid. Necromancer here. Where are we going to go down? This is the same thing. Base damage and cooldown on Reap. Decompose, base damage. Essence increase. Corpse frequency increased. Hemorrhage, base damage increased, essence generation increased, same with Bone Splinter. So they're doing the same thing across the board with everybody, basically is what's happening here. They're going down the board, and they're just increasing essence, spirit generation, fury generation. They're increasing the generations and the base damage just across the board, basically. Sever got a little bit of a buff as well. Blood Lance requirement, overpower reduced from 8 to 6 cast. That's actually quite nice for Blood Lance. And then Bone Prison, cooldown from 20 to 18. This is actually a good move, I hear. The Fortify increased as well. Iron Maiden base damage increased from 10 to 20%. Don't really care about the Iron Maiden damage, to be fair. But the damage bonus increase went from 15 to 20. Corpse Tendros have a chance to spawn a Blood Orb, increased from 30 to 35. Okay, sure. Base damage increased from 80 to 120 on Bone Spikes. And then the minions will always engage a target with a cast of Curse. That's cool because now you can use Curse as a way to basically target people that you want them to attack. I like that. Passives, damage taken, duration requirement reduced from 3 to 2. Rathma's Vigor, healthy duration requirement from 15 to 12. And so it's just buffs. They're buffing all these classes. The Thorns increased. The legendary Bursting Bone got increased. Flesh Rendering got increased. Fast Blood got increased. They're just buffing all the classes. They're actually doing it right. They're making the game more fun. Like, I love it, okay? Rogue, Invigorating Strike gets buffed. I'm going to be honest, Rogue feels good already, but Invigorating Strike buffed. Blade Shift buffed. Heartseeker buffed decently, actually. Primary damage from 30 to 75. That's actually very good. Heartseeker didn't feel that good to me when I was using it. Forceful Arrow increased. Barrage Base increased. This is great. Everyone's getting a buff. Methodical Caltrops increased. Cooldown reduced and Smoke Grenade. Rain of Arrows, which feels garbage, by the way. Rain of Arrows feels horrible. Cooldown reduced, and the Prime Rain of Arrows imbuement potency from 20-30%. It needed more than that. I think it needed way more than that. I cut that cooldown down to 40 seconds. I just increased the damage on this thing, too. I think Rain of Arrows was terrible. Volley base damage increased as well from 70 to 105. Passives damage bonus increased from close quarters combat. This is a good passive already. Escape Artist cooldown decreased from 100 to 45 seconds. That is over double buff, basically. It cut it more and cut it in half. Lucky hit chance gained from Dark Shroud increased from 30-50 to 40-60. That is going to make the poison build better. The poison also has the imbue where you create the puddles from the lucky hit and then you can redo that. That actually makes that literally better. So that's sort of a Twisting Blades buff. And then Eyes in the Dark Death Trap cooldown reduced. So I'm actually surprised they buffed Rogue, to be brutally honest. That seems good. Sorcerer here, I think this is going to be the same thing across the board as all of these, right? We're buffing all the basic attacks. So base damage increased, Enhanced Spark increased, Flickering Spark increased, Frostbolt damage increased, Firebolt burning increased, Charge Bolt increased, Incinerate. Incinerate needs a massive buff. Base damage increased, enhanced damage increased. Okay, this is pretty good. pretty decent buff across the board for Incinerate there. Fireball mana cost decreased. That's nice. Frozen Orb initial base damage increased. Explosion base damage increased. Great. They're just buffing like a lot of stuff here. Blizzard base damage increased. Ice Blades vulnerability increased. Lightning Spear damage bonus increased. Crackling Energy base damage increased. All of the classes. You know what I'm reading through this? Everything's an increase. I'm not seeing a nerf anywhere. Doesn't matter what class you're playing, you're getting a W handed to you. What else do we got? Legendary aspects. Abundant Energy is an increase. Slow amount increased on Singed. Chance to restore mana increased on Incendiary. Snow Guard's damage reduction increased. Dude, this is just, it's just everyone's getting a W. Concentration mana increased. Flame Scar flat damage increased. Damage reduction reduced on the staff, which damage reduction reduced from 4. Okay, that's actually a mild nerf, right? So other than that, Sorcerer got a buff as well, and that's pretty much it. Here's the thing. W patch, because everyone got a buff, like, you know, there's no reason that we have to nerf everything always to balance stuff. You should be able to buff stuff too. I think that's a very common point people are making. I actually agree with this point. Everybody just caught at least one W for your class that probably matters for you. It seems like they have quite a variety here. They say they're going to continue to try to rebalance these. If you go up here and you look at the gameplay adjustments, these are the biggest ones. Massive increase in damage in Nightmare Dungeons, massive increase in rewards, basically. We have the Helltide roaming bosses now give consistently better loot, being able to teleport to the Nightmare Dungeons, increased reward experience from the Whispers. W of a patch. We actually are getting buffs. I love to see that we're getting buffs, and we're getting, look at how many fixes. Look how, this is just UI fixes, then quest fixes, local co-op fixes, gameplay fixes, and dungeon events and other activity fixes. I mean, this is pages, basically, of fixes here. So, man, actually a pretty feels good patch. Not going to lie, I was mildly worried that we were going to see more nerfs to classes to balance the classes. They were going to go the other way, but I think they're kind of getting the concept that, like, people just want to have fun, just make their characters good. So, for me, kind of like it. I do want to see, obviously, more content. These are more fixes and balances. We all want to see more content, World Tier 5, etc. I think they're probably holding that for Season 1. I don't imagine we're going to see a lot of like big content dumps between the seasons. I think we're probably going to see that for the season. So if you read this and you're like, these are just changes. Yeah, fair enough. They are changes. I think they're trying to get the core of the game solidified before the Season 1 comes and then start dumping the new content. But for me today, that's actually a pretty big W. We're going to go over this patch live, and you can ask me questions as well. So feel free to come by twitch.tv/Darth, like the Sith. Microtransaction, like you're spending money, all one word, and you can find it in the pinned comment or description. Love you all. See you on the live streams.